been running for what feels like hours. My lungs burn, my legs ache, but I can't stop, not with that thing still behind me. The forest stretches endlessly in every direction, trees blurring together in the darkness. Then, I see her. A little girl standing between two ancient oaks, her pale hand extended toward me.
This way, hurry!
Her voice is small but urgent. I hesitate for just a moment before following her. What choice do I have? The sounds of pursuit grow closer. Branches snap like gunshots in the night. The girl moves with surprising speed, her white nightgown billowing behind her like a ghost.
We need to hurry, it's coming.
I don't ask what it is. I already know. I've seen what it can do. The memory of blood splattered across our campsite flashes through my mind. My friend's screams still echo in my ears. I was the only one who made it out, or so I thought. The girl leads me deeper into the woods. The moonlight barely penetrates the thick canopy above. My foot catches on a root and I stumble, nearly falling face first into the dirt.
Be careful, we're almost there.
Almost where? I want to ask, but I save my breath for running. The forest seems to close in around us, the trees growing denser, the darkness more complete. Then, suddenly, we break through into a small clearing. In the center stands a cabin, weathered and ancient, but intact.
Inside, quickly.
I follow her through the door, which she slams shut behind us. The interior is sparse. A table, a few chairs, a fireplace with dying embers. The girl moves to the window, peering out into the darkness.
It won't find us here, not right away.
Now that we've stopped running, I can finally catch my breath. I lean against the wall, my heart hammering in my chest. Wait. Something isn't right. The girl, she's too calm, too collected. And how did she end up in these woods alone? Wearing only a nightgown? I study her more carefully now. Her skin is unnaturally pale, almost translucent in the dim light. Her eyes, when she turns to look at me, seem too old for her face.
You're wondering who I am.
It's not a question. I nod anyway.
I was like you once, lost, afraid, running.
A chill runs down my spine that has nothing to do with the cold night air. I need to know what happened to her. What's still out there hunting us? But before I can ask, there's a sound outside. A low, rumbling growl that seems to come from everywhere at once.
It's found us.
The girl doesn't seem surprised or scared. She moves away from the window toward the fireplace. She kneels down and begins to trace patterns in the ash with her finger. I move to the window, peering out into the darkness. At first, I see nothing. Then, a shadow moves between the trees, something large, something that shouldn't exist. I back away from the window, my heart in my throat. The cabin suddenly feels like a trap rather than a sanctuary. I turn to the girl, who's still drawing in the ashes.
There's only one way to survive the night.
She looks up at me, her eyes reflecting the dying embers like twin pools of fire.
You have to let it in.
I stare at her, certain I've misheard.
It won't stop hunting. Not ever, unless you give it what it wants.
The growling outside grows louder. Something heavy slams against the door, making the entire cabin shudder. I back away from the door, bumping into the table. The girl stands up, ash smeared across her hands and nightgown.
I've been here for a very long time, waiting.
Another slam against the door, wood splinters.
I was like you. I ran, I hid. But in the end, there's only one way this ends.
I look around desperately for a weapon, anything I can use to defend myself. There's a fireplace poker leaning against the wall. I lunge for it, gripping it tightly in my sweaty hands. The door bursts open. But instead of the monster I expected, a man stumbles in. He's covered in dirt and blood, his clothes torn, his eyes wild with fear.
Thank God, I thought I was the only one left.
I lower the poker slightly, confused. The man looks behind him fearfully before slamming the door shut.
Is there a back way out of here? That thing is right behind me.
I look to the girl for answers, but she's gone, vanished, as if she was never there at all.
Who are you looking at? We need to move.
He can't see her, or couldn't. because now she's standing right behind him, her face expressionless, her eyes fixed on me.
He's not what he seems.
The man moves further into the cabin, his eyes darting around nervously.
We need to barricade the door. That thing tore apart everyone at our campsite, ripped them to shreds.
My campsite, my friends, just like what happened to me. A cold realization washes over me. The girl moves closer to me, her voice barely a whisper.
He's wearing its skin.
I grip the poker tighter, watching as the man begins to push furniture against the door.
Come on, help me with this. We don't have much time.
But I don't move. I can't, because now I'm noticing things I missed before. The way his movements seem slightly off. The way his skin doesn't quite fit right around his neck and wrists. The way his eyes never quite focus on anything. The girl is beside me now, her cold hands slipping into mine.
I tried to warn the others, but they never listen. They always trust what looks familiar.
The man, or whatever is pretending to be a man, turns to me, his face twisting into something resembling concern.
What's wrong with you? We need to work together if we want to survive.
He takes a step toward me. I raise the poker defensively. The girl's grip on my hand tightens.
It hunts by mimicking, by becoming what you trust.
The man stops, his head tilting at an unnatural angle.
Who are you talking to?
His voice changes slightly, becoming deeper, more guttural.
There's no one else here, just you and me.
He smiles, and for just a moment I see too many teeth. I swing the poker without thinking, catching him across the face. There's a sound like tearing paper, and a piece of his cheek peels away, revealing something dark and writhing underneath.
That wasn't very nice.
His voice is completely different now, a rasping, multi-tone sound that makes my skin crawl. The girl pulls me toward the fireplace.
This way. There's a passage.
The thing that isn't a man anymore begins to change. Its borrowed skin splitting at the seams, revealing glimpses of what lies beneath, something ancient and wrong. I follow the girl to the fireplace. She pushes against the back wall, revealing a narrow tunnel.
Go. Now?
I hesitate, looking back at the creature. It's halfway through its transformation, a nightmare caught between forms. The girl pushes me toward the tunnel.
I can't hold it off for long. Go!
I crawl into the tunnel, the rough stone scraping my hands and knees. Behind me I hear a sound like nothing I've ever heard before. A scream that's both human and not, filled with rage and hunger. The tunnel is pitch black and seems to go on forever. I crawl blindly, my breath coming in short, panic gasps. Finally, after what feels like hours, I see a faint light ahead. I emerge into another clearing, smaller than the first. The moon shines down, illuminating a circle of standing stones. Ancient symbols are carved into their surfaces, worn by time but still visible. I hear movement behind me and spin around, expecting to see the creature. Instead, it's the girl, emerging from the tunnel.
We don't have much time.
She moves to the center of the stone circle, gesturing for me to follow.
It can't enter this place, not unless invited.
I step into the circle, feeling a strange energy wash over me. The air feels different here, charged somehow. The girl kneels down, tracing more symbols in the dirt.
It's been hunting in these woods for centuries, taking people, wearing them.
A howl echoes through the trees, closer than I'd like.
It's coming.
She looks up at me, her eyes reflecting the moonlight.
There's a way to stop it, but there's a price.
I don't like the sound of that, but what choice do I have?
Someone has to stay, to guard this place, to warn the others.
The realization hits me like a physical blow.
I've been here for so long I'm tired.
The howling grows closer. Trees crack and splinter in the distance.
You have to decide. Quickly.
I look around at the stone circle, at the symbols etched into the ground, then back at the girl. She's fading, becoming transparent in the moonlight.
Please, let me rest.
The creature bursts into the clearing, no longer pretending to be human. It's a mass of writhing darkness, of teeth and claws and hunger. It stops at the edge of the stone circle, pacing back and forth like a caged animal. It can't enter, not without permission. The girl is barely visible now, just a faint outline against the night.
Say the words. Take my place.
She points to the symbols on the ground. Somehow I understand what they mean, what they're asking of me. The creature howls in frustration, throwing itself against the invisible barrier of the circle. The barrier won't hold forever. I look at the fading girl, at the monster beyond the stones, at the dark forest that stretches in every direction. I make my choice. I speak the words. The girl smiles, a genuine smile of relief and gratitude. Then she's gone, truly gone, leaving nothing behind but a faint whisper on the wind.
Thank you.
The creature screams in rage, sensing what has happened. It retreats into the forest, but I know it will return. It always returns, and I will be waiting, just as she waited, to warn those who become lost in these woods, to guide them to safety, or to take their place if they're willing. Days pass, or maybe years. Time moves differently here. I watch the seasons change, the moon wax and wane. I wait. Then one night, I hear it. The sound of someone running through the forest. Panicked, afraid, pursued. I step between the trees, extending my hand toward the frightened stranger. This way, hurry!